What is
All right.
going on, guys? Welcome to the spoiler talk for Venom. Venom came out this weekend, and so now hopefully you've had the chance to see Venom. If you haven't yet, while you're watching this video, it's a spoiler talk.
Yeah.
Me and my special
That's
guest
nice.
today, we're going to talk Venom spoilers, and I think he's already introduced himself. This is my cousin, Patrick Preston. Patrick, what's going on, man? This is our first collab.
Yeah. I've been a supporter of the show for about over a year now. I love the channel. It's so great to finally be here. I only wish we had a better movie to talk about.
Oh, so you made your point clear. You didn't like it.
Oh, Lord. Where do I start? Oh, boy.
All right, so I guess we've started with our first point we should talk about here is our quick thoughts on the movie. So, Patrick, why don't you tell my viewers your quick thoughts overall?
Okay. So, as you can tell by the intro, I was really not on board with this movie. I just felt like the narrative, what was it? Zach Pope said that he enjoyed the movie as like a guilty pleasure. And I can see where he's coming from, but I can't really enjoy it on that level because I thought like the guilty pleasures were few and far between. A lot of the movie didn't really have much of a style of its own, and so there were so many laughable moments that I can't even like begin to discuss them. But that's why we're here.
Exactly, two different opinions, but I would say I'm kind of in the middle on it. I don't think it's a perfect movie, and I'm with my good pals Zach and Griffin. I view it as a guilty pleasure. I enjoyed it for the most part, but I agree there are some really bad parts to the film, which we will talk about with the negative section.
Gotcha.
So now we've given our quick overall thoughts. Let's just talk about some things that are positives. I think we could both agree, Patrick, Tom Hardy, pretty great as Eddie Brock, Venom. Give me your overall thoughts on him.
Yeah, good casting. Yeah, I'm glad that they cast him. I thought like he was easily the best part of the movie. Like the character himself, like Eddie Brock, was pretty boring. But like when you cast somebody like Tom Hardy, like you're easily able to like latch on to him per se.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he really did carry the movie. And I thought like what was it? The things that the script had him do were just like so awkward, but he was able to like pull it off that I almost forgave it.
Yeah. Tom Hardy was definitely the best part of the film. The saving grace, just the relationship with him and the Venom symbiote is like some of the best parts, the most enjoyable parts of the film. Just some of the dialogue. It's very cringy. It's very cheesy, but I was just laughing out loud. I was enjoying myself. Tom Hardy. The other cast members are in my negatives, but another thing I really enjoyed are the action sequences and the action set pieces in the film, the way they're set up. And the director directed Zombieland, so he knows how to direct action very well. And I thought the action was a lot of fun. What did you think?
What was it? Well, I mean, like, you really think about it, I really felt like there were only 2 action sequences, because, like, obviously there's the scene in which these henchmen break into his apartment, and then that sort of leads into a car chase. So I guess you could call that one action scene. And then obviously there's the other guy, Venom versus Riot fuckery. Obviously there's 2 scenes.
What about the fight scene with those henchmen in the apartment? It's like a dark setting.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
Yeah, some of the editing, the edits really worked for me. Like it just felt a little too aggressive at times. You know?
Okay.
What was it? Some of the editing looked a little aggressive, but nothing. It didn't feel like it was there so that it could mask poor stunt work. Because like I'm sure that the stunt work like was impressive, but like I couldn't really latch onto it because like the editing was just so like aggressive at times.
Yeah,
but
I could tell. Yeah,
I thought the action could have been worse. Like I've seen much worse, like Catwoman.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Let's not talk about that. But let's talk about some other things that I enjoyed. I think the post post-credit scene is amazing, where we see Woody Harrelson as Carnage in prison. And this could definitely tie into many things. Like, I'm wondering, Woody Harrelson's in the movie. What's he playing? Is he playing Carnage? Is he playing a riot? I don't fucking know. And just that post-credit scene just like is like, yes. I didn't even stay for the other end credit scene because I heard it's a Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse thingy that I've already seen. But yeah, what were your thoughts on the end credit scene?
What was it? I'm gonna be honest. I almost didn't recognize Woody Harrelson. I thought I was looking at Carrot Top. And what was it? When I saw Carrot Top in jail, I'm like, oh my god, what happened? And what was it? When he said like Carnage is like coming or like some shit. All I could think to myself was the only Carnage on display is like our hopes for a sequel.
Yeah. And that's if this film does very well opening weekend, which I'm estimating people are estimating over 80 opening weekend.
Did you what was it? This is kind of off topic, but did you hear the review? The people saying like Lady Gaga fans are trying to sabotage Venom. They're afraid that.
Yeah, I did hear those things. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
Or maybe Lady Gaga just deleted the tweets. I don't know.
Yeah. Good. But yeah. End credit scene. What was it? It did feel like a little bit too much fan service. Like oh my gosh, like it's Carnage. Like it did feel a little too fan service-y, but it wasn't too bad. Like it wasn't on par with Amazing Spider-Man 2 fan service because all
right, yeah. So another positive I had is I enjoyed the humor for what it was. The script wasn't perfect, but just the balance of Venom and Eddie Brock as one character I found it really entertaining. Like, my favorite joke in the movie is Eddie going to an elevator. He's like, jump. And he's like, puss. He's like, pussy. Oh, my God. And the Stan Lee cameo. One of my favorite Stan Lee cameos. Who's that guy? Oh, my God. That was hilarious.
Yeah. It reminded me of, what was it? Do you remember that Spider-Man 90s animated show? There's one episode where what was it? Stan Lee's wife actually did the voice of Madam Web, and then and Stan Lee's like hanging on to Spider-Man, and they're like swinging around the city, and then Stan Lee's like, "Who's that woman?" And like it was supposed to be like a cute joke. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, same. It reminded me of that as well. But now let's talk about the negatives now, and I will let you take the floor, sir.
All right, 1 second. Well, at one point, I'm just gonna start with the fact that the first third of the movie was seriously boring. What was it? Just watching like Eddie sort of like live his life was just. First of all, it was like really like brisk over, so like, it was hard to like identify with him because like his backstory was just so brushed over. And yeah, like none of the characters really like warranted interest in the beginning, and on top of that, the story felt so just paper thin, like not even paper thin. We're talking like symbiotes crash, then a guy wants them. One symbiote bonds with Eddie. Hijinks ensues. It just felt so paper thin. Like with something like Black Panther, like there's a lot going on, but like in a good way. Like the story is very complex. But with this movie, the story is like far too straightforward.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like the way the story tried to balance the different symbiotes compared to Eddie Brock, it just felt jumbled and all over the place. Sure. And I think the villain in the movie, Carlton Drake Riot, was pretty underwhelming. Just a bad villain, a mustache twirly villain that's very cliche, doesn't make sense. Like the world did us wrong, so we're gonna make it right. Really stupid.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it surprises me because one thing that Marvel has been really like impressive with over the years is creating like actually compelling villains, not just in movies but also like in the video games, like in Spider-Man PS4. Like, but in the movies, like Killmonger was great. Thanos was probably the best so far. Ghost was kind of underwhelming. But then, like, why take like a giant
Loki.
step backward?
Yeah.
Yeah, Loki.
Vulture.
Why take a giant? Yeah, why take a giant step backward? Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like many of the Spider-Man villains, especially Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Vulture, like those are the top three. And
Yeah,
the design of Riot's awesome, but the character is trash.
yeah,
So now
yeah,
Michelle Williams. I love Michelle Williams. She's a great actress, but
yeah.
man,
Me
they
too.
wasted her character in this movie. Like Gwen
Yeah,
Stacy running around, pushing buttons, and she becomes Venom as well. Really stupid.
yeah, yeah. I get the feeling that like all her scenes were filmed like in 5 days. But yeah, she
It did feel like that.
yeah, she like I honestly when the movie was over, I had to stop and think to myself, what did she contribute to the plot? Like I really felt like she was just only there so that we could like sort of so that we could latch on to Eddie in a way. Like
Yeah.
Eddie needs to be relatable. Okay, let's give him a love interest. Okay, what's the love interest personality? Um, she's a love interest, and she's a lawyer. Okay, but what's she like as a person? She's a lawyer. All right, good enough.
And then they try to
Yeah.
set up conflict. Like Eddie tries to get the truth, and then they break up. And then she dates a doctor. So
Yeah,
different
yeah,
things that didn't work overall.
yeah. It's surprising. Like I wouldn't mind so much, but Michelle Williams is like really like popular nowadays. Like she's been nominated for an Oscar like 4 times. But like if you cast like a lesser known actress, like I get the feeling like we wouldn't notice it that much. But if you cast an actress of the caliber of Michelle Williams, it just becomes seriously noticeable.
Exactly. Now there's a good amount of CGI flaws in the film. The
Ugh.
final fight with Venom and Riot look all over the
My,
place.
my favorite scene was when he's in the apartment and he grabs a soldier, and then there's a shot in the trailer where like he makes like a fist, like Venom fist, and it honestly looked like something out of a PS2 game.
I honestly did not notice that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh my lord, there was a lot of CGI. Obviously there's the what was it? What did you think of the
Wait, what did you say?
what did you think of Venom's design? Because what was it? John Fleckinger said like Venom looks really wet. Um he looks like rather wet, and I stopped thinking to myself, I'm like, oh yeah, he looks kind of moist.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the design of Venom. Like that is awesome. Way better than Topher Grace's shit. And just they made him super muscular like in the comics. The way they explored Venom and Eddie Brock straight from the comics. I appreciated that about the film for sure. But yeah, I loved the design.
Yeah, I also felt like the character not the character design, but like the character like interpretation of Venom. Because what's it? The scene in which Eddie and Venom are talking, and Venom's like, I need to eat. In the comics, Venom needed to eat because he had to stay alive. But like in the movie, it's just like I need to eat people because I just like eating people. Like there's just so much like under the surface that like you could explore, and they just never do.
I just love the scene with Eddie Brock at the restaurant. He's like, I'm sorry, people.
Yeah, he's eating a lobster.
And then he goes in a fish tank.
And then he sits in the lobster tank like it's a jacuzzi.
Yes. That is awesome. I was dying of laughter. But my favorite scene, it's in the trailer, but they didn't do it fully from the trailer. We are going to eat both of your arms and then both of your legs, and then we're going to eat your face right off. You'll be this armless, legless, faceless thing rolling down the street like a turd in the wind. We are Venom. It kind of sounded like it was different. I'm like, come on, I wanted to sound just like the trailer. That's all.
I also thought it was strange how did you count how many times they said the word shit? Because like I got to they said it like 9 times, and then they say the word turd. And I'm like, oh come on.
I didn't know. I'm gonna have to count how many times they say shit in my next viewing.
Yeah.
That's
Also, I just lost my train of thought. I, I just forgot it. Sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. But now I wanted to ask you a question, Patrick. And
Sure.
for Venom, Sony seems like they're trying to incorporate Venom into this new type of universe, kind of. Maybe it could be in the MCU in the future with Tom Hardy and Tom Holland. I wanted to ask you, where do you see Venom possibly being in the future? Like, still kind of saying Sony, or maybe in the MCU with Tom Holland?
Um. Well, it's kind of interesting because where I personally want it to go is I would rather what was it? I would integrate Tom Hardy's Venom into the MCU, but have it so that like do it like the Incredible Hulk, where like the Ang Lee Hulk was just sort of like not referenced, and like it could be considered canon, it couldn't be, and just take Venom and just sort of like put him in the MCU and have it be like Civil War, where Iron Man goes up to like Spider-Man and be like, "Hey, you did all these things, right?" They could do the same thing with Venom and just like not acknowledge like these events. But yeah, I would definitely like to see him in the MCU and maybe go up against Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But that seems like that doesn't seem like it would happen in the foreseeable future. But also, I think it's going to be really hard to integrate Venom into the MCU because personally, if I were to make a Venom movie, I would never promote it as a superhero movie or even really like an action movie. I would promote it very much like a horror movie, and because like have Venom like when he eats people, like not like, oh man, that's awesome, but like have it be like this really disgusting thing that he just has to do. And really, like if I were to put him in the MCU, I would like put him more in line of like the Netflix Marvel heroes, where like it's more adult oriented. That's where I would like line him up.
I could
Short
put,
answer is
yeah. Oh yeah, I totally like that, man. I would love to see Venom in the MCU, but it's definitely not going to happen in the future. Tom Holland has teased some things, possibly,
yeah.
from the Spider-Man Far From Home set. But a thing I
Yeah.
would love to see is Sony like taking a risk. If Carnage is going to be in your next movie, make it rated R. Like, I'm serious. They can
please.
seriously make a gritty R-rated Venom movie. But for this movie, it didn't bother me the film wasn't rated R and PG-13, but I seriously think they can make an R-rated Venom film with Carnage in there as well.
Absolutely. I'm actually surprised that they didn't like make it rated R. Like it wasn't the thing about the R rating is that it wasn't a glaring issue. Like when I was watching it, I was never like, why wasn't this rated R? But
Exactly. Yeah.
But like if you were to if you're gonna have a character as gritty and bloody as Carnage, like there's no excuse for like having an R rating. Like you just gotta have it. And plus, if this is supposed to be separate from the MCU and the MCU is owned by Disney, Disney would never approve of an R rating. So like you're separate from Disney. So just go out there, distinguish yourself from the MCU.
Totally, man. Yeah, they're all about making money and getting people in the theater. So, Patrick, if you do rating systems, or if you could do like an A+ or whatever, what would your rating be for Venom?
Well, on my Letterboxd, I do use a Letterboxd account, and see, there are like 2.5 out of 5s, which I just convert on a scale of 1 to 10. So I give this movie, I'd probably give it maybe a 2 out of 10. Because I felt like Tom Hardy seriously elevated the material, and there were some jokes that worked. And I remember what I wanted to tell you. There was one scene. There was one scene in the movie where Venom is crawling up the wall. He grabs a guard and throws the guard off the building, and the guard lets out a Wilhelm scream.
Oh yes, that was it. That took out the fun of the scene. Like, I can't stand the Wilhelm scream now.
Oh my god. But like they did it in like the first Toy Story movie where Buzz falls out the window, but in that scene that was funny because like it was acknowledging that that's a stupid thing that people do. But when they did it, it's like this is supposed to be a gritty action movie, right? So why would you do that?
Yeah, like no more Wilhelm screams unless it's hilarious.
Yeah. It reminded me of a SpongeBob episode where like people there's like an explosion that happens, and then someone shouts, "My leg!"
Exactly. What if they did that? My leg. My leg. All right. So on my rating scale, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. But that's just my first viewing. I could have a completely different opinion the next time I watch it. So I'm right around the 3 and 3.5 out of 5 ballpark. Definitely not a perfect film. It's a lot of fun for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's going to do it, guys. That's our spoiler talk for Venom. There isn't much to talk about. That's all the spoilers that happen. But my buddy, my cousin, actually, Patrick Preston, thank you so much, man, for doing this with me. We definitely have to do more collabs.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. This was a lot of fun to talk about. It's clear that what was it? We had some stuff to talk about, but at the end of the day, this was a great hangout. Very glad we did this.
I'm glad. I agree, man. And Patrick, do you have any social media accounts that my subscribers can go check you out on?
Absolutely. I do in fact have a Twitter. I have a Letterboxd account in which I follow Ryan. I have a Letterboxd account, so you guys can keep track of all of my ratings. I also have an Instagram, so if you guys want to connect, I'm already following Cody Curtis and Zach Pope, and they're really fun guys. Twitter, Letterboxd, hit me up.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching this spoiler talk, and let us know all your thoughts and opinions down below, because we want to get a discussion going on in the comments. And thank you for watching, guys. This was spoiler talk. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Go check out Patrick's social media. He's a great dude. And as always, guys, all my social media links are in the description below. Click the notification bell on your way out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!